Jack, if you want to get started and share your screen so we can have a look at it.
Yep. Glad to get this out of the way. I've been kind of dreading this. So, well, can you see the screen?
Good. Yeah, all good.
Okay, so for my capstone, I've replicated a dispensary website. It's pretty straightforward. It's like an online store. So we've got the little age verify, which you could just click past. There's nothing really going on with that. This is the landing page, just a basic little map, shows you where they're at, number to call. If I had this hooked up to if my phone was hooked up, it would actually, that would work. Got a few links here that take you to the menu, show you the different options on the menu. An about page, very simple about page. Again, just another location, little contact info about them. This is a real company. I didn't make this up. This is, they're not far from here. I know them kind of. So go into login, pick a different. All right, so this is a dashboard. It would be like a profile. I didn't get around to finishing this up, but it would display like recently viewed, recently purchased. It would give suggestions. I still don't have the suggestion engine built into it, but it was it's on the list of things to do. So go into a menu. You've got all the different products in there. If you select cartridge, of course, it shows you just the cartridges, just the flower, etc., etc. If you wanted to separate it by indica and view all the products, you can do that. Sativa, hybrid, the same all around. All right, so if we wanted to purchase a product, come in, you could select the quantity to add there, add it to the cart. Once inside the cart, you can update it. See the quantity over here updated. I can pull it back down, update it again. You could remove it. Continue shopping. We'll add this one through. Go into checkout. Basic little checkout form. Right. Bear with me, I know I don't type fast. And in a moment, my phone's going to chime once this goes through. So there's that, and I should be getting an order. That chime tells me it's an email notification letting me know that I started an order and that it's been reserved. So I'm going to use the Visa test card. And then once this processes, there will be another chime. That's a PDF invoice was sent to me. And it was successful. Again, all pretty basic. In a second, that'll chime off. So log out, you could log back in here. If I choose a different user, let's do this one. Oh no, I forgot my password. Look at that. So if I enter in a password here, just give it a moment. I'll open this up on the page because it's going to have a link. One moment, please. All right, password reset. So this is what the form looks like. It says somebody at this email requested a password. Click on the link. It takes you there. And this is, I don't know why that's not loading. Thought I addressed that. Sorry. Let's do something simple. Oh, the password is too common. Okay, so let's do. anyway, it goes through. I don't want to have to write it down because it does verify that it's a proper password and it doesn't match your previous password, and it does have to pass all the basic criteria of a password. So it's kind of doing a lot, and I don't want to write it out. And that's essentially it. It's the basic function of this website. It's got the accounts that you can log into, and it keeps track of sessions. So if I weren't logged in and I went to the menu and built up anything into my cart and then decided to log in, it stays in my cart. So that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot to it. Any questions?
Yeah, well, that's an awesome project. I was curious, like, if you could tell us a little more about like what services you have connected to it, because you get invoices and all that stuff. So it's really interesting to dig deeper.
Yeah, I jumped the gun a little bit. I did forget to show that. So it's connected to Braintree, which is handling all the payment information. And this accepts Google Pay, Apple Pay, all the major credit cards. It's a third-party payment handling service, and it keeps track of the transactions, total volume, average ticket, little graph here that shows, as it goes through. I don't always have this running, so there's plenty of days that are showing nothing. But the Braintree monitors all the credit card activity. And then for the asynchronous operations, I've got Celery running, and then Flower is actually running in Celery, and that's handling all of my asynchronous stuffs. So, yes.
Any questions for Jack?
No, it looks like you've nailed it. That is Jack. Elaborate and awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a fully functional e-commerce website. Great job, Jack. Pretty good.
There's still quite a few things that need to be done before it's a proper website, but it is. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That Celery I am interested in for sure. Thank you. We'll talk about that offline for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you, Jack. Round of applause. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. So do we have another volunteer? Or should I
go next, Alex?
Okay, cool, Joe. Thank you.
You guys can see that?
Yeah, all good.
Okay. So yeah, mine is pretty basic. It's just a surfing website for military members. You can kind of share information about like the surf, the rip hazards, the conditions, and things like that. So this is the landing page. You can donate, sign up, about, and then these are all the different places that you can go to. So Hawaii. I already logged in. I forgot to say that. It's logged in with a random user I made. And then you can, so yeah, right here, you can just kind of post things about like, oh, you saw a shark or whatever. It's windy, strong current. And then if you have to log in first, I should have mentioned that. You got to log in first to be able to post. And then if you are logged in, so for instance, right now I'm logged in as John. So like these posts from Henry yesterday, I only have the reply option. Obviously, I can't update or delete his posts like I can for John. And then I kind of messed around with the little pagination, the results for page. And then up here, there's a map. And then this shows, and then up here, there's a map, and it shows the military bases in Hawaii. And then here's the Marine Corps base. So you can go to this. And then it gives you a little synopsis of the Marine Corps base, like the ocean, the surf, the beach. And then right here's that API it's just pulling from the weather app, wind speed, wind direction. I couldn't find a free wave height API. And I couldn't figure out how to do web scraping. So these are all posts or pictures rather that the users have posted. You can click on one of them and it just gives you the details and then the description. I kind of messed around a little bit with the JavaScript. I can get to finish it with the like rating the images on stars and likes and stuff like that. But like I said, I didn't get to finish it. And then what else? Yeah, this is where you can upload a photo. And then if you want, like, let's say you saw, of someone who posted good pictures, but you can't remember, or you want to see like everything that they posted, you can type in their name and search the database. This will give you it. I didn't style this. I couldn't figure out. Jack showed me one of the. I guess if you upload JPEGs, it'll standardize all the images, but I couldn't figure it out. So I didn't really get around to styling it. Well, yeah, that's about it. Any questions?
Yeah, I mean that's a great application. I love the idea of like displaying information about like locations that aren't accessible to everyone. So so what's the part that got you the most? What's the most challenging part of the application during during the process? Like what is the thing that challenged you the most?
I was trying to. I felt like it went smooth in the beginning. It was like beginner's luck, and then the last like 2 weeks has been failure after like nothing that I tried worked. So I mean, this thing is essentially the same as it was 3 weeks ago, but I've done a lot of work in between that. I just couldn't get some of the. I wanted to do like when you hover on that map, it shows an image. In JavaScript, it does like, what is that, an AJAX call to the database, and then it shows the image, but I just couldn't. I didn't have the time, and I couldn't get it to work, so that was difficult.
Awesome.
Okay.
Other questions for Joe? All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Joe. Another round of applause for you. Well done. You deserve it. Who wants to go next?
This is Tom. I'll go.
Okay. I think Tom and Will, you were at the same time. Let's say Tom first and then Will after.
Okay. I don't want too many people to go because I have a tough act to follow because mine's not that impressive here. So.
Oh come on.
All right. All right. Here we go.
I'm banking on the one that would take so long that we don't have enough time. We don't have to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working
Well
on.
played.
I really love Tom's idea, but yeah, I mean, I leave it up to you. So
Yeah, well, I think Jack ruined us all here. So here we go. So the problem we're trying to solve is like going camp with the family and doing trips. And so I made up a problem that I had is trying to capture all the information. So I called a blog, called a journal. I called a journal. So welcome to CampJournal. I'm going to log in here. It says, nope, incorrect username and password. It's all built in Django stuff. So we're going to register somebody. I'm going to register this guy. And it's going to say, nope, this guy already exists. So come up with another name. So we'll do that. And if I try to, if I try to go to the links, it won't work. If I did register the person, just taking back to this page, and then we'll log in. Here's the home page here. So over here are all the journal entries we made so far. And we can either click on the picture to go to it. Whoops, I can't see my little tab there. We can either click on details or click here, and it tells you the location. It's a place called Yellow Jacket, and then this is the title of the entry, in-laws first camping trip. So click on that. Didn't get around to styling the actual entry itself. Here it is. We have a carousel go in here of all the pictures, it'll cycle through by itself, or we can do it automatically. We can edit it. It'll repopulate everything that was in there initially. For the most part, I think I'm missing some capability, and then we can resave it. If we want to add an entry, so this is one of the things that kind of got me going down this path was recreation.gov, which manages all the BLM and National Forest or Forest Service public use stuff. They have this really cool API that you can search for something. So I went someplace last week. I forget what it was called. It was somewhere near Mount Hood in Oregon, and I searched for it. And it's looking through the API and like, oh yeah, it was Camp Creek. So when I pick Camp Creek, it pulls the lat long to that location, Camp Creek with the neighbors. We got there on this day, we left on this day. We had a great time. I probably could have combined the cover photo and the additional images, but this is just a single photo. They'll just let me pick one photo at a time. Over here, I can pick multiple pictures. So I can pick all these, and then we do that, and then we save it. And then here's our entry. We had a great time in Camp Creek. And then here we can scroll through all the pictures we just uploaded. And then if we go back to view journals and I sort by like created date, ascending or descending. Let's try descending. Here's Camp Creek with the neighbors. So based on, I think I made this one today as well. I picked the same pictures, but here's where it showed up. And so I don't know where Camp Creek is at. It's one of these. Take my word for it. Right there. There's Camp Creek with the neighbors. And there's our entry right there. All right. If I try to register, because I'm already logged, so I already have an account, it won't let me register. But if I log out, then I can register. And that is my 6 weeks worth of work right there. So yeah, the API was challenging. There was a lot of variables you can pick, and I came back with way too many options. So trying to narrow that down. So there's a couple of parameters I could put in to just search for campgrounds. And you saw I only had 3 states that you could choose from, but you can pick any. I could just make the select list or the option list longer. And then the databases for I have 2 databases, one for the journals. And it's linked to another database of the images. So as I upload images, it's called like inline stack, I think it was. Found a YouTube video on it. So all the images are stored in this database, and then they're tied. And so if you click on one of these pictures, it's telling you what journal entry it's linked to. And it's just a good way to manage, or one way to manage the pictures relative to another object here. And so that was pretty challenging. I needed Alex's help a couple times when we finally got through it. And yeah, those are the 2. But a lot of it, I have a lot of bootstrap in this stuff. So it's, so you can see the entry or the options up here. Once I collapse this enough, it'll all drop down here. And then also there's some other sizing stuff that goes on. I think when you, this stuff changes to, either way, it's just responsive. There you go, bootstrap stuff. So the bootstrap is pretty fun. That is all I have. What are your questions?
Oh man, that sidebar is killing me. Well done. Love it. Yeah, not many people like bootstrap.
That's all I know. I mean, I don't know any other options. So.
Yeah, but that's a great project. What do you foresee like in the future? Like what kind of functionality would you like to add, if any, to your application?
Well, I know I thought about like somehow like a Facebook post, but I'm not a social media person. Or somehow tying to that. Like right now, any person that logs in will be able to see all these. So, and if I had like an edit all of them, so eventually it has to be, either by user, different permissions. I don't have any permissions set by user, so that needs to be fixed. And then like the map, when you first load them here, it averages all the latitudes and all the longitudes and centers on the average of all of it. So if you have a New York entry, it'll pan them. It's supposed to be able to capture everything. I was thinking there'd be like a random, an area that you tend to go to frequently. It'll, from the API database that it pulls, it'll like give you a random suggestion or something based on some other travel habits that you have. I think that's all I can think of for this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Any questions for Tom?
Oh, looks really clean, Tom. It looks really like
Thank you.
It's easy. It looks like it navigates well. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I like the
Thanks.
colors and like you said too. Yeah, the layout of that, it looks really nice and easy. Good flow.
Oh.
The simplicity of be able to grab a bunch of pictures and upload at the same time. That's pretty cool. Yeah, nice job.
Yeah, I think because like most of them get buried in my phone. So here you can catalog them a little easier. Thanks.
Well done. Round of applause for Tom. Thank you.
Tom, I do have a quick question for you. What was the name of the process again of linking those two backend databases containing the image and the text?
I will. Someone can maybe. I think it's. Let's do this. So it's under the models.
One-to-many relationship between models.
Here are my images, and then yes, I think it's called in-stack or inline stack.
Okay.
Where
All right,
I have my journal model. Oh, I'm not sharing, am I? I'm a goofball. Hold on here. Okay, so my model for the journal with like the user, the trip title, the trip notes, and then my journal images, and it's just what Alex was saying. It's a many to one. So I have many images. So I need a foreign key because I have many images going to one journal entry. And this is what, I don't know, I have to go back a few weeks in memory and figure out how and see what YouTube video I watched to do this.
No, this is good enough. This is cool. I just wanted
Okay.
to appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, if you guys need to start Django yet, you get there. You can't miss that step, so don't worry about it. Cool. So thanks, Tom. Will, do you want to go next?
Yes, I do. Thank you. I'd like to show you my project, everyone. My name's Will, and I'm a dirty Bitcoin maximalist, probably. I created an app that it utilizes Kraken specifically. I could have chosen any number of crypto exchanges, probably, but Kraken seemed to be one of the more upstanding options, and they had a decent documentation, API documentation, that helped me kind of pick through it. You see, I should have chosen probably some Bootstrap, but I styled most of it all just kind of myself here. Simply, what you're seeing is the opportunity to both log in and am I sharing? Yes, everybody's seeing me.
Yeah, all good, all good.
Okay, we can log in, we can register new users. Register, obviously, everybody kind of knows what that one is. Log in. I have a couple of users. With the registration, as soon as we register, let's do. It's going to take us to. Let me log us out. This would be easier. So. to an initial login right away that then allows you to store your API keys, register API keys, both a secret, API and a secret from the exchange, where you'd go and get those keys. I don't know if anybody has some, I mean, obviously we have some familiarity with that if you've been through the course. So you can register those, and those would store that to that user. And then from here, it'll take you right into it. But I don't have any API keys to copy it in right now. So I'll take you to some users that I've already built and show you sort of the functionality. It's pretty simple. It's literally very simple. It's as simple as I could literally make it in my mind. It's binary choice. It's between gold and Bitcoin.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Two assets. So pie chart showing your balance, right? Your distribution, your percentage distribution. So the idea was to maintain 50-50 distribution. Right now it's a manual click, right? And it will in theory rebalance. So right now the logic keeps it from rebalancing. It can't rebalance if the difference between the two is less than the minimum for the exchange or for that asset. So if you look here, I have it where it holds, right? So I ran the rebalance. This is the Bitcoin balance. This is the gold balance in Bitcoin, and then this is what would be needed in order to do a rebalance, but that's below the threshold of the exchange minimum. The exchange minimum would be the 0.004 in this case. So for me, there's probably some strategy that would later it would be able to rebalance at a higher frequency. But right now you can see I've made several rebalances, and this shows the BTC balance up and down. So we've seen, as the price of BTC has gone up against gold, it rebalances back into gold. So your gold balance is going up. And then of late, and this is kind of fortunate for me, I got a chance to, you guys didn't just have to see a straight line down, right? You get to see it come back up, which is kind of nice because the price sort of reset. So, and then over here, we've got it right now, it's too many, right? I don't know how to explain this without going too much into depth, but I have too many, I'm storing too much to the database and I'm pulling too many. So this table has every single time that I store a balance. And I don't need to store a balance every single time. So that's one of the things I'd like to work on going forward is sort of minimizing, how many points of data we're storing. So let me log you out just so you can see. I created another account so you can see the function, see it actually happen, which it's not glamorous, but that's it. It's one button, one click, right? So you see the balance distribution, we rebalance, and then it's going to print the API response over here. So what did it buy? It bought a 0.071 ounce of gold. And so you see it has rebalanced back to that. One of the hardest things that I think for me was obviously, working through the API responses, storing things, but getting these charts to load. This is a Canvas.js is what I used. I looked at several different options, but this is the one that seemed like the easiest spool up for me. And I think I'd like to look into some other options for charting. In the future, I think more charts. In the future, I think I would like to see, I think it would be visually easier for both myself and for any other potential users to see the USD value of the account, right? So being able to have that third asset would help. But I haven't stored any USD values, right, in the database. So I would need to start over with my storage because I can't really go back in time. I could, there'd be a lot of work there. So there it is. All it does is you click a button and you rebalance your portfolio from whatever the distribution is to back to a 50-50. Any questions?
That looks awesome. Yeah, it looks very clean.
Very nice.
I like the way that you laid out everything, and I think that the graphs and stuff, they work very well. The color palette is really nice altogether. It blends in all together. I think visually is certainly appealing. So you did a great job here. I really like it.
I have a question for you, Will.
Yes.
With your charts, how are you getting your data to the charts? Is it JSON or is it some other kind of object?
Yeah.
Is that how you populate the chart?
Yep, serialized JSON. That was an Alex and a Griffin handoff assist on a lot of this. Let me see where we are. So the model is pretty simple, right? I'm just saving the API, and then the view. Let's come back over here. Serialize. That's what it creates the JSON, right?
Okay.
To the HTML template, pages, rebalance. And this was a neat thing for me. I learned one of the things I really liked. Griffin and I hacked through this, and it took us a second. Was you can script in, and you guys probably already know this, but I loved this little detail. Script in, right? A constant or a variable via that's this one here, and then I use a .js later to access that.
Right.
And I loved that, and that it simplified the chart so I didn't have to bury everything in a script file, script tag.
And then you just use that variable as like your data equals balance or however you did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
like okay.
yeah,
It's coming
balance.
as an object or.
So it's coming. It's serialized as a JSON, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what serializer does. At least in this case. And then, so it's a JSON. So then I can access it through here.
Okay, I see what you're doing. Okay, yeah.
Does that click?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. I ran into a similar problem.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you do not transform data coming from your database in JSON, you won't be able to use it with JavaScript. So what we did here is just as a little hack that you would actually do. This process will be much more complete if we did use the Django REST framework, which offers you like much more options. But in this case, we just converted small data into JSON, so you can grab it, you can display it in the console, in your browser, you can use it, and just with regular JavaScript.
Yeah, thanks, Will.
No problem. Yeah, that's great. And any questions for Will? All right, so
I'm assuming that was all theoretical rebalancing, not.
No, it's literally rebalanced right in front of you. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Transactions and all?
Yeah, that's what that was for sure. Yeah, I've been actually running it. That's what these were. I've been running it since back in, at least collecting data and rebalancing periodically throughout whenever I could look back at the dates, right? But that's the account balance was all the way for the last month, probably. Sorry about that.
awesome. Round of applause for Will. Thank you. Awesome application. All right, so let's say who's next? Who wants to go next? All right, so I will.
Yeah, Alex, I can go next. My
You-
line's
you wanna
pretty
go
easy,
next?
but I can
Yeah.
show it real quick to the group.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you guys have seen pretty complex projects so far. I wanted to give y'all a mental break. Show you something pretty simple. So I'm just did the really straightforward framework here. Different than the rest of the teams, I actually don't have the login user piece of it. So everything I'm doing right now, just from the website admin perspective, right? Only the super user is using this website, which is myself right now. So by the way, let me know if you can see my screen.
We can't. Can we? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Your microphone is. I think it's working fine. But if we can't hear you anymore,
I'm lean forward a little bit more, so hopefully you can hear me clear.
Yeah, that's fine so far. Yeah, keep going. Thank you.
So as you can see on the right hand side, that's just my landing page. Nothing fancy. But eventually I want to add the login register user here on this landing page as well. But really, for the user as myself right now, I just want to show you this manage page. That's actually showing you all the data that was in the database right now. So if I go here, you can see this table showed up pulling in all the records that I created. This is actually not all the data element that I defined in my model. There's actually more, but I only pulled in the one that like I want to see like upfront, right? I only see the one that are kind of important to me. Like if you want to check the detail, as you can see this hyperlink that take you to the actual record itself. It show you all the detail that are captured for that record specifically. And you can also see there's 4 buttons at the bottom. They're just for POC purposes. It's not finished. It's not like a completely built out. It's just a placeholder. So it's not doing anything. But that's where I want to go next as a part of the enhancement later on. And as you can see here, some navigation link I have here. You can always go back to the home page, add another record to the database, or just go back to that managed view that you just saw, right? Let's go back here, back to this table. As you can see, the last 2 things, that just those are placeholder too as well. So my plan in the future will be, those will be the one that are calculated by the code, right? Everything else you see, they're just input by the user when they actually create that record. But I want to actually have 2 system generated data point in there as well. That's something I didn't have the time to finish up, but that's just a concept there. So if I go to the add new page, so this is the page like how user gonna enter or create a new record in the front end. And as you can see again, there's 2 buttons. Like the save button is working on, but I have some trouble trying to do save and add new. So basically what that do is if you click the button on the right, it will save the record and redirect you back to this page. That's a part I'm having some trouble with right now, but eventually that's where I want to go with. But right now, but the save and finish, that's working. So once you do that, it will take you back to the actually, let me just, oops. Actually, I don't have any data. Let me just put a dummy data here real quick in there to show you. And once you do that, it will take you back to the manage view. And then you can see the testing one that we just created is in there already. But back to the homepage. That's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Just showing some concept I picked up for Django. Hope you enjoyed this break. Thanks.
Thank you, Ben. That's great.
Actually, one more thing I want to say. Just by seeing Will's demo, I'm really inspired by that dashboard with all type of charts. So I definitely want to Slack you, connect with you, just get your idea how to do that. I do personally, I love data visualizations. I just want to pick up your brain on how you did all that fancy visualization too. That's definitely I want to have that something for my tracker as well. So if you don't mind, I'm just gonna starting to bog you on that. Thanks, Will. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
And
Ben.
me too, Will.
Any questions for Ben? All right, cool. So a round of applause for Ben. Thank you. It's great to see your application. Let me see. I think I don't have many. I think Drew, Leon, Ian.
I can go.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. All right. Can you guys hear me and see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. So my website is for a personal experience for hobbyists that collect crystals and rocks and things like that. So this is the landing page. I'm using Bulma CSS framework because it said that it was human readable. You can see some examples of that is paddingless. You know, center image is 128 by 128. Gives me this here, which allows me to line up the words and the images without having to do anything else. So it is a very nice CSS framework to use. So let's go back to the website. So here you have just a basic kind of blog here. You can read it, and the tags, you know, if you're writing about a particular crystal or multiple crystals, they'll all show up here. And you can click on that, go straight to the crystal page. These are all responsive, you know, resizes, and that's built into Bulma as well. So just using Bulma gave me all that responsiveness. Same with this header. That will collapse in, but then you got the hamburger to retain the functionality. So going back, oh, and also the breadcrumbs, you know, that's all with Bulma as well. And the blog does archiving by year, by month, and has all that functionality. We can sign up, and this is all formatted with Bulma as well. So I got nice looking forms using that. So pretty happy. I have a user here called Ada, who is a guest writer. So Ada has the ability, this shows up now when I'm logged in as her, to add a new post. This form, you'll notice, does not look as pretty as the other ones. That's because I'm using a lot of class-based views. And to get that, I used what's known as the fat models thin views design theory when I was creating this website. So my models have all this extra functionality built into them so that my views can be things like, this is my post archive year view. That's all it is. And that's because all that functionality is built into the model. But with that said, I don't have the ability to change these forms when I'm doing that. So I built the website to be fully operational from the back end first. So everything is working with just raw HTML, and I was happy with it. And then I started doing CSS, and I realized I had this problem. So if I was going to redo this project, I would avoid doing class-based views so that I would have a more uniform look throughout, because there's nothing I can do about that now. So that's a contributing writer. I can log out from that and log in as the administrator. Hold on. And now you can see that I get all the edit and deletes and everything. So, and then here's the crystals. We can go in, edit and delete. The contributor and guest writers don't have access to add, edit, or delete these because this, again, is a personal collection. It would represent that. So people can come in and write and share their experiences and stories, but they can't obviously add to your collection. So that was the website that I wanted to get. I got pagination as well with this. This is all really easy to do with Bulma. So I'm very happy with that. And so then I decided to expand some more functionality and add some other areas that a crystal collector would find of interest. So this is an area where now we can track the stores in the area. And this map is generated using Django Easy Maps. And that code lives up to its name. So it's just installed down here as an app. There's nothing imported. And then down here, we've got the key and a couple of default settings. And then the view for that page is right here. That's it. That's putting in a map. This is a variable that's grabbing this address here, which is entered into the database as just a string. So it passes that up to Google, brings it down as a map, and you have full functionality of that, which is nice because another area that I decided to add was rockhound sites. These are areas in my state where I can actually go and get my own crystals for free if I was so inclined. Now this map is showing a great big empty space because yeah, that's what my state is. It's out in the middle of nowhere. So that's why I decided to go with that, because when the map is zoomed in, you have no idea that it's even a map. Of course, you can go to satellite view and all that. And again, going off of this whole theory of the website is a personal experience. So it's not going to give you directions. There's already applications that do that. But you can put in notes in here about what you need to take with you or what it's like to actually go and get into this site and what you can find there. So that's the idea of that. And then here we have the tags, which we can manage. It wasn't until I got the website done and I started testing it and playing around that I realized I really need to add a description field that will print out here to make it easier for the user to manage these. But anyway, so these tags will show up. Anything that you've used this particular tag for, whether it's a crystal or a blog post, will show up here, so you can easily navigate around that way. And then there's an about page. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you about this. So I also have, this is an API call that updates every month, and it shows on what day of the month the moon phases will fall. And so for crystal collectors, that's kind of an important thing as part of crystal maintenance that we do every month. So, and in the code here, there was a couple of functions. Oh yeah. On the admin side, I did a little bit of customization just so that I would know what admin site this is the page for. I also added in the map widget here. You know, pretty basic stuff. And you can see that I did play around with flat pages and all kinds of things, but they're not worth the effort, but they're still in here because I haven't done all the cleanup that I need to do on the site. But that's where it is right now. Some other things that I'd like to add is event tracking for like gem fairs and stuff like that. I was going to create a web scraper that would keep track of that, but because of COVID, there's really nothing going on. So with time constraints and all that, it just wasn't worth it to build it in right now. So do you guys have any questions about the code or anything? Great.
Well, thank you, Leonette. That's great. I love the styling and how you put it just all together. It flows really well. I think you did a great job. Yeah, I'm impressed. So thank you for showing your app.
Thank you.
What was the Django Easy Maps? Was that a module that you had to download, or is that internal?
Yep. But you can just pip install it.
Okay.
It's super easy. It's awesome. I'm gonna just type the name of it into the chat for you. Just Google that and it'll bring it up.
Yeah, appreciate it. My maps were just pictures; they weren't actual maps. So yeah, I'm gonna implement.
Yeah,
that.
I tried OpenStreet. I tried Mapbox, which is really amazing. But because I didn't have the concept of putting a map in from the beginning, it was something I wanted to add in later on. It was really hard to go back in time and make that a feature. So having Django Easy Maps really saved my butt there.
I used Folium, and it was only like 2 lines of code to get it working. It was really easy.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. Round of applause for Leon. Thank you.
I'll go.
All right.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, there we go. And share. Okay, can everybody see this? All right.
Yeah.
So I did something similar to what Will was doing, and I made a cryptocurrency portfolio management system, and this is called CoinSkunk. I had no better name for it, so I just took something that I liked and then picked an animal and just went with it. So we got CoinSkunk, and we have our little logo here. This is kind of crude. I just came up with this like within the last 10, 20 minutes, so forgive me. So let's go through this real quick. I'm going to log in first as an established user, and then I'm going to register and show you how that works. So I'm going to log in, and I'll use this one. And give it a second. Okay, so we have our dashboard here. And this is like the hub of all of our information and functionality. These are all the assets that we have in the database that we saved, and the amount. So this first one here is our net worth, and it calculates all of the prices and the assets that we're holding currently, and keeps that into a field, or a field in the model. And every time we add one, a new card will pop up and let us know that we have it. And this is our performance chart. So over time, it'll tell us how good we're doing. Right now, this chart is kind of just a placeholder. It's not real data. I was having trouble implementing putting the data that I had in the database to these charts. There's another chart I'll show you in a second. But this is something I want to do later on, is tie our net worth to the principal that we had and the growth or the decline of our assets over time. And then the third section here is the news section, where each coin that you have, so right now I've got Ethereum, VeChain, Doge, XRP, BTC, which is Bitcoin, Cardano, Litecoin. The news feeds for that through StockTwits will come in, and you can scroll through these and see what people are saying about it. Again, this is something that I want an in-house chat, I guess, chat code in here where you can interact with other users that are on the site and say, hey, this is going off pretty good. Oh, this is our XRP to the moon. Oh, VeChain to the moon, whatever you want to say. You can be able to say it here in this area here. But for right now, I have the kind of like a little aggregate of all of the different coins that we have. So when you want to add a new coin, you can come up here to the search. And let's see, which one do I not have? I don't have, let's do TRX. That's a good one. So it gives you the logo, it gives you a description, the current price as of right now. And you can read through this. Again, I want some more data down here, like the 24-hour high, low, 52-week high and low, and all that kind of stuff. That'll go here on the bottom. Let's say I want 1,200 of these, and I'm going to hit submit. It takes me back to the assets page. Now the assets page isn't finished there, but basically what it's going to do, it's a chart. It's a drill down view of your individual assets and their performance, where the portfolio page is a view of your overall portfolio. Here, all of the assets that you are holding currently are available, and ideally what I want to do is you pick one, and then the chart will repopulate, and it'll tell you how good you're doing for the day or the week or the month, the year, or whatever time frame you pick. But for right now, this is just the example of what I wanted to do with this. So we can go back to, and that's basically all the areas on the assets page. There's nothing else here except for the list of the assets we have. and the chart for that, the candlestick chart. And you can kind of drill down into it and go back. But this is just for a week, so the 18th to 25th. So let's go back to dashboard. And okay, now we have an updated view. Our net worth, our Tronix or Tron coin is worth was 4 cents. We've got 1,200 of them, so our net worth went up a little bit. Now we have an 8th asset here. And if we scroll down to our news, hey, there we go. We have all the bag holders over on StockTwits who want to talk crap about our coin here. So that's basically it for that. Dashboard and assets page. This is kind of funny. This is just like a random, every time you reset, there's a random person here because I was too lazy to code in a page to actually do a portfolio. Because right now it's just a diagnostic page of the kind of things that I was having. So anytime I needed to kind of look at something, I'd kind of go over here to that page and mess around with it, see what kind of data I got. But that's all that is. Settings later on, I'm going to make a setting so you can change like a light mode, dark mode. You can choose your currency, things like that. So let's log out. And let me get rid of those. So let's register a brand new user real quick. I'm going to do coin lover. There we go. And there we go. And coin lover doesn't have anything. So let's add something. We're going to get some Bitcoin. And there you go. You get your due diligence here. Say okay. I'm gonna right now. This is just so if you've already bought these coins, you can add them into your portfolio. Later on, I'm going to have a feature where you can put the purchase price at which you purchased them at, and then it keeps track of it from there. But right now, all it does is just say, okay, at the current price, this is how much you're holding. So let's just say I have, I have 1,200 Bitcoin. And submit. And it takes me back to the assets page. And this chart actually is the current Bitcoin chart for the week up to the 25th. So let's go back to dashboard. And yeah, I've got a lot of money with that one coin. So 1,200 Bitcoins, and it'll give me my performance once this is all filled in. And it tells me, hey, you got some, this is what people talking about on StockTwits about Bitcoin. Let's add one more. And let's see, I'm going to do Litecoin. Litecoin is good. And it gives you the information, the updated price. Yep, I'm going to go with 100 of these. Actually, let me do this. You can buy them in fractions. So let's just do, we'll do 0.0147 of a Litecoin. Submit, and it brings you back to here. And of course, eventually this will tell you, this will show you the coin you just bought in its daily chart. And we go back to dashboard, and there you go. We got our Litecoin. Current holdings are 0.0147, and our net worth went up by, I don't know what that is, whatever our net worth would be with that little amount of Litecoin. And of course, our chart would display that as that updates. And then, of course, we have our mentions here, all the people talking about it. And this, of course, is going to be replaced by an actual live chat saying, hey, it'll subscribe you to the Litecoin channel for this website where you'll get up-to-date news or information about people who want to, go in there and boost it or go in there and dog it. And then that should be it for that. Hey, we got a new guy there. And that's it. So let's log out and log out. And there we go. And that's CoinSkunk. So let me show you.
That's awesome.
Let me show you the code real quick. The model was simple. So basically what I did, I have an asset and a portfolio, and I have a user, but the user that I'm using is the one that's built in to Django, the user auth model. So what I'm doing, let me go back to that screen real quick. Let me log in. Hold on one second. It takes a minute because it's kind of slow. Okay, so each user has their own portfolio, has one portfolio and their own set of coins. Now in the database, and matter of fact, let me go into the database real quick and I'll let you see what's going on there. Oops, did I know 1, 2? Okay, there we go. Admin, okay. And I'll show you how it's working. So the assets, as you can see, and this is kind of one of those weird things that I want to fix. Every time a user adds an asset, it comes in as the same name, but it has a unique price and a unique count, because that's how I have it stored in the database. I'll show you here. So it has a name, a price, account. The logo is the picture that you saw on the asset search page, but I didn't really implement it here. So it's not really a field that's being used right now. And then the metadata comes in as assets plural. And when you see it as a model, it's the name, its price, and its count, just like we saw with here. So LTC, $177.96, 0.04147, which is the last one we just bought. So now, as you can imagine, if you have hundreds or thousands of users, this could get huge pretty quick. So that's one thing I need to work on and see how to revamp this model so that it's not going to be millions and millions and millions of different coins and prices and all other stuff. And then we have our portfolio. So each user gets one portfolio, and it's tied to the user. So we have a foreign key of user. It has a name, it has the assets that are in it, the many-to-many field assets. So you can have many different assets in here, but each user is tied to each portfolio, which is then tied to the user. Then we have the value, which is the overall value of the portfolio. A date created, so you can keep track of your profit or your return on investment over time. Your principal, which you can keep track of, which helps keep track of the your ROI, and your asset count. Right here is just an empty dictionary. I don't know if I'm even using that, so maybe something different. And then I have two methods. I have a principal sum, and I have a net worth, which we saw being used here in our, if we can go back here real quick. It takes a minute. So our net worth calculation is being done by this right here, and it's just a basic value plus equals price times count. It's simple. So that gives us our net worth over all of our assets that we're holding right now. And then in our views, so the views is kind of tricky. I have this global where'd it go? This global variable called search string. So when I go and do a search on here, let's just do BTC again. It has to call two different APIs, because the API that gives me the price and the description, all the other data, doesn't give me the logo. And I wanted to have the logo up here for each different coin as part of the experience for the user. But that one API didn't give that to me. So I had to call a different API, and that's in our search asset view. Let me see if I can go to the PY. There we go. So I'm using one API called Crypto Compare, and they have a nice kind of wrapper that gives us functions like this. Where did it go? This get. No, I'm sorry, that's one I wrote. Here we go. So this price.get.current price. That gives me the current price as a function that they have on their API that I'm calling. But if I want to get the icons for each coin, I have to call a different API, put in my key, and then use that same search term that I have here. Oops, that I have here as a global to pass that in as well. So that's kind of tricky, and I know it's bad. That's why I had to put a little a little disclaimer saying, yes, this is bad. I know, bad. Don't do that for global. Every time the website or every time a page, whether it's portfolio or the main page or the asset page is refreshed, it runs this update request function, and that gets the price, the current price for all the assets that are in our portfolio, and is getting them through the user. So it's the user.portfolio.first, which is, since there's only one, assets.all, and it has to set the fiat currency as USD. Later on, I'm going to have that where you can set to whatever fiat currency that you want to use it as. And then it'll go through its entire thing where it gets the price, amends it, and saves it to the database. And that happens. I was going to do this in the background with Celery or with another what do you call it there? Another program called Schedule, but I was running out of time and it was driving me nuts. So I just scrapped it and just said, okay, I'm going to call it every time I refresh the page. Asset search is pretty easy. So here I get the icon with the search term global, and the same thing with the search term. The search term is these here. So let's say vet. Now in my API, every you have an ID that's a number based, and you have a symbol, which is a 3-letter, 4-letter, sometimes 5-letter symbol that's in capital letters. And then you have the name, that's the long name, like vet is VChain, BTC is Bitcoin. But here I have it so where you search as a 3-letter, kind of like a stock, where you just search the stock, like the stock, not the name, but the quote name. So here vet, and you hit submit, and I get VChain, get the logo, the price. What happens is that I have to set that to an uppercase and then search the API with the uppercase name. So that's when it goes into coin name equals the name, which goes back to the view. Then I get all the price information from, so all is all of the markets, because there's many different markets on this API. And then it goes through all this other stuff. Set the price and the description and the image, and then return it. If you put in a coin that doesn't exist, let's say 1, 2, 3, 5, just takes you to the page. Incorrect, sorry. And you can go back, and that's the other thing I have to work on. So yeah, so we have that, and then our add asset function is pretty easy. We take the request, the asset, and the count, and then from the user, we get the user, I should say, and pass in the request, and then we just do a create or update. So if the asset is already in there, it's going to update it with the amount that we have. If it's not up there, if it's not in our database, then it's going to create a new one. This is something I still have to kind of work on because it's not fully functional. There's a couple bugs in there that I want to iron out. But for right now, it does the job pretty well. So let's go back. Let's add one more XRP to the moon. And then we're going to go, I want 1,500 of them. And then you can see, of course, we have that. And go back dashboard. And it'll come in. There we go. Okay. So now we have an XRP. Now, if you notice here, we have 2 XRPs, one for 1,500 and one for 16,000. This is something I want to be able to consolidate the asset, so it's not adding a different asset. The way my model is written, I can't do that right now, so I have to revamp the model for the asset in the portfolio probably to be able to do that. But then you can, if you want to buy some more, hey, I want $125 worth, or if you want to sell it, and I want to sell 125 or whatever it is, you can sell it. Right now, this is just a pop. This is just a placeholder right now. It doesn't really do anything. If I hit sell, it just goes away. But eventually I want to be able to say that I sold it or bought some more and update the database with that. But this is just something I kind of came up with today because I had this envision in my mind for this website, but didn't get to it because I was kind of bogged down with other stuff. And that's it. And then we can log out and log out, and there we go. And that's CoinSkunk.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's really, really dense. Well done.
Thank you.
Lots of functionality, flows very well together. I love the models. I love the design. Great stuff.
Yeah, it really looks like if you linked up your site and Will's site, like Will can help you balance out your accounts and you can track them. That would
What
be
you
pretty
didn't
cool.
know is that we were already tracking that, and I don't even think Will knew that, but now he knows. Yes.
That was pretty cool though. Well done.
Thank you.
Awesome. So a round of applause for Drew or for Peter, because I forgot before as well. And I think the last student to present today is Ian.
Yep. All right, cool. I mean, it's you guys can hear me, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be super fast after Drew. Cool project, man. Yeah, mine's pretty simple though, just like reservation thing. So yeah, pick a day, pick a time, you search, you get a time. I don't know, test information there. But yeah, and it gives you a little bit of feedback if you don't tell it something. And it changes. So, you know, forms really exciting. Well, oh, because it's not validating. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, so you just make a reservation and then super admin, but then, oh yeah, so the good things about Django is you can make all the users really easy. So there's a couple like management users, so then different people can add rooms, make reservations, get rid of them, add payments and stuff. And yeah, so yeah, it's not that exciting. That's about it. If we want to get on break or something.
Well, thanks, Ian. Is it for can you do have like a list of events? Would this work for any type of event, for restaurants specifically?
Oh yeah. So like I don't know. I kind of like people are asking me for it, but yeah. So it's basically for anybody to use. It's more like a SaaS product. So you know, because you can just drop all this in as a bundle on somebody else's page with like their own key, and then it'll just go back to whatever and to track their appointments and stuff for them. So it actually, you know, in real life, it'd be they put their own branding on it, and then just use the functionality that's already set up for them. Because yeah, because it just this all goes back to the business rules too that you get to set in the admin interface. So you can set how like maximum people. You know, during COVID, you can't have like 22 people or whatever. It'll tell you. So basically, yeah.
Yes, very nice. Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah, round of applause for Ian as well. Thank you. I think that's pretty much it today. So guys, I'm speechless. We spent like 4 months together. I'm really not a big speech sort of guy, but I really wanted to thank you all for doing this like journey with me. You guys really work hard. You deserve it. You deserve all the like that's a great achievement, and also you showed a lot of determination for showing up every day here, learning something super hard, and also like you know showing patience for my super thick Italian accent. So that's also like an additional skill on top of learning how to code, also understanding like accents now. It's just another language, you know. But yeah, so thank you very much to you guys, and thank you also for like thank you to Griffin and Sam that helped me every day here, just helping you guys. It wouldn't have been possible without them. You guys really were a lot. So just taking care of you all was certainly demanding, but they really did an amazing job. So thank you guys.